I can't see an endorsement from you. You didn't endorse him in the primary?
I kind of make a practice of never endorsing in primaries.
Wise.
You know, I have so many colleagues who run for
Yeah.
office and, been in primaries myself. They're all friends of your friends. I did. I mean, once Janet dropped out of the race, I, we had a big state convention after that. And I was a cheerleader for him. I did an event with him a few weeks ago. So, I mean, it wasn't, yeah, I wasn't not, we're a big tent and a small crowd in Maine. So we're all on the same stage together and everything else. So,
Well, no, in the
yeah, I
whole
mean,
nation. For Democrats, the whole
it
nation
wasn't
needs that.
like, yeah, and it's not like, does Chris Murphy, you endorse him or not? This is my state. We're all Democrats and we were all
Yeah.
in. So that's sort of how it all came down.
Do you feel personally lied to or deceived by him?
Well, like many other people who can say, I mean, I spent time talking to him and said, should I expect anything else? So I'm not the
Oh,
only person who asked that question.
did you ask him that?
Yeah. And he said no.
So does that make him a liar to you?
I don't know if he was a liar, if he was delusional. We're talking about men and how they interpret things here. I mean, did he think he didn't do something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter to me anymore. I feel like
Yeah.
most of us had said for a while, look, if there's sexual assault in here, I think everyone tried to get through the, you know,
Yeah.
sexting on his wife and all that. And it's like, okay, that's their marriage. People screw shit up. And obviously there was plenty of stuff. But I think most of us, you could see it was pretty fast and furious when there was a credible allegation of rape and sexual assault. So it doesn't matter, I think.
Yeah. Are you worried now, though, that I guess it's still early, but that the seat's more at risk now?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've got a good bench, and I think, the people who become delegates to the convention will do a good job trying to pick somebody that they think can win. And obviously, Senator Collins is vulnerable with her association with Donald Trump. But that said, you could be the best rock star on earth and have you run a 4-month campaign. It's just not an easy thing. We all know that. And starting from scratch on the 1st of August is just not going to be easy for anybody.
And she's a household name up there, for better and for worse, these days.
Oh, I mean, she's been in office a very long time. The number of times that we have thought this is the year that the Democrats will win, I was her first opponent. So I've been there, done that.
So you know she's formidable.
Yeah, she's a tough person to beat. And, she's now the chair of appropriations. And if you were up here, you'd be watching ads all day long about the, incredible number of earmarks she brought to every small town in America. I mean,
Yeah.
every small town in
Maine, yeah.
needed a fire station or a new water treatment plant or an addition to their school or something. So, yeah, I don't think there's anyone who underestimates how difficult this campaign is. The reverse of it is, no one wants to be a Republican right now. No one wants to be tied to Trump.
Yeah. So are you not going to be a delegate for the convention? No.
We don't have like a super delegate system or anything like that. And literally to be a delegate to the convention, I would have to go to a county committee and run for delegate. And it's not to say I couldn't, but I really trust, Mainers are pretty smart, have good common sense. There'll be a lot of people who really want to engage in this. And I don't, I can go and watch if I want, but I don't, I don't need to, I trust the kind of common wisdom here and that it'll all work itself out for who's the best candidate.
I secretly want the Maine Beer Company guy to win. That's my bias.
Who doesn't want a beer company guy? And I don't know if you've ever been to Maine, but he has a pretty cool business. It's a very, well, you probably can drink it.
Yeah.
See, it's everywhere.
That's the one 10 years ago. I had it with you on camera at your place.
That's right. Of course. Yeah. That's right. You got history. You got history with Dan Cleveland. That's right.
Yeah.
He has a very cool, their primary site. They've got this giant whale skeleton that hangs in there. They're
cool.
Good. They're good people. It's a good business.
You remember my family's from Yarmouth. We still have old family farm there.
Oh, totally forgot that. Oh, yeah. So you're practically Maine. Maybe you need to be a delegate to the convention. Although my number one pitch to people is just like, would you? I mean, and I'm sorry, don't mean to pick on you, but like, DC people and out of staters, could you just leave us alone for a while? Because, part of the problem is that this race attracted so much attention. And every consultant, every reporter, I mean, everybody's been in our state, turning this into a very complicated race. And now they all want to, weigh in on the next round of candidates. And I'm just sort of like, leave us the hell alone.
Do you hear complaints? I mean, that's always what Mainers are saying, but especially now.
Yeah. If you have a family here, yeah.
Yeah. Are you hearing complaints about Schumer? Or is it not that specific to the DC swamp?
It's funny because, I mean, outsiders tell us about Schumer and, like, don't let Schumer put his thumb on the scale and all that. But really, what Mainers are more like is just like all the reporters and consultants annoy him.
Yeah, fair.
And the progressive, I mean, even like Bernie and Roe, I mean, like, we don't need you guys. Like, I'm a progressive, I'm fine. I like those guys. But it's like, we don't need you in Maine to like put your thumb on the scale here.
Interesting. Are you worried that some of the progressives won't come out because he's so different than it seems like most of these other people running? Just they don't seem to have that populist appeal that he did, which seemed to be exciting even non-voters.
Again, I think that's a perception from the outside. I think that if you ask Maine Democrats, there's going to be a lot of people who they like in this field. And again, Graham Plattner was unique in his kind of deep voice, and he was a good speaker and a smart guy. But, Shenna Bellows and Troy Jackson are, very progressive. And I don't know who else will be in the race, but there's not a Democrat who will be running in this who will be espousing some sort of conservative points of view. There just won't be. It's not where the Democratic Party is right now. I've been talking to a lot of people over the last few days, and they're disappointed about the end of Plattner, but also the next thing they say is, yeah, but I really want to win. I really want to win.
Interesting.
It's not an election people are going to sit on their hands.
And that's just because of Trump.
Trump, yeah. And I mean, we've got a governor's race, we've got a second CD. I mean, it's a pretty big year for us, even though it's not a presidential year. I think it'll be high turnout. We had very high turnout in the primary, too. And yeah, I know. I mean, maybe it was because, but I don't think so. I don't think it was just Blanter.
This is a little different, but were you surprised to see DeGette get ousted? It just seems like there's something in the air nationally.
Oh, there is definitely something in the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we've seen that going for a little while. So, no, I mean, I've been talking to my colleagues a lot, and, many of them know they're in tricky races. And again, came after New York. If you just look at a lot of those people, Espaillat, I don't think people, a month before that election thought he was going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, I'm in Maine. I've been watching the Plattner phenomena for a year.
Yeah.
So maybe I even saw it before my colleagues. I didn't think the governor had a chance once the Plattner thing got going, because you could just see people, and I'm a elected official. People are really mad at sort of the amorphous Democrats overall because they're so mad about things and they're not exactly sure what to get mad at. And so they say, why does the Democratic establishment not fight back harder? Why don't you do more? Why doesn't everybody do more? Why did you let Trump win? I mean, it's sort of the state people are in.
Yeah. And it's kind of fascinating with your daughter running for governor. That's your name. So you would think there would be some backlash, and you're not even getting primaried. What'd you do right?
Well, I'm a very progressive Democrat. And I know, where people are in Maine these days. And I don't take anything for granted. This could have been me. I could have had a pride. I don't think I don't want to pride to pretend, but I do try really hard to, especially when it comes to like social media and making videos. And I just try to show up and let people know what I'm saying and thinking. I don't feel like I have to stick to talking points and things like that. And really, before the Graham Plattner phenomena got going, we were like kind of boosting the town halls that we were doing and things like that. I've tried to sort of stay out of my daughter's way during the primary, to a certain extent. But anyway.
Yeah. Because now we don't even know what's up with McConnell. And I feel like he's going to die any day. was just been sad the past few months seeing him slowly be in a wheelchair. But that's already with Thune there. That's kind of just changing of the guard. There's angst with Schumer. AOC and the progressives are making some wins. Do you think that's going to have a big impact if Democrats do take over the House, that you guys are going to be more progressive in Washington because we've had this changing of the guard?
I hope we're more progressive if we take over again. But I also think we have a pretty strong progressive wing of our party already.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's our caucus as much as the last time we were in power. We had Biden, and while we got a lot of things, we didn't get everything. And I don't know if it was the House holding us back as much as it was, like Manchin and Sinema in the Senate. So
Yeah.
I actually think the House has been pretty progressive on most things. But I'm happy to welcome more progressives to the House. It's not a small wing of the party. I mean, there's already over 100 progressives now. It's just that people, I think with the way media is and social media, you can have 100 progressives and people think the only two progressives in the House are, AOC and Diana.
Oh,
I don't
Omar.
know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yep.
Yeah, or anybody. I mean, it's we're kind of in a era, and I think if we got a chance to be in the majority, you'd get to see more of it.
Uh-huh. Do you think that's good, or are we careening towards gridlock?
We're in gridlock.
Fair.
How could we be any more gridlock than we are now?
We're in dipshitville.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what kind of gridlock are you picturing? I mean, a lot has to do with, of course, what happens in the Senate. I don't picture, I still think taking over the Senate is a long shot. And of course,
Yeah.
even if we take over, we won't have, the ability to break the filibuster. But I think we'll have a pretty good, contingent of progressive senators as well. But most Democrats are moving to a much more progressive policy these days, I think, overall.
Yeah.
We have a very, very, very small group of blue dogs and even kind of the quote new Dems, have a broader sort of level of interest in things like, healthcare, childcare, housing, the kind of progressive policies we've been promising people. So I think we'd see more there. But we would still be the fighting it back against Trump party. And I think most of us who think about taking over the majority in the House, it gives us the ability to block their funding cuts, to investigate, subpoena, sue. The House, we don't have the power to sue right now because only Johnson can, speak on behalf of the House. So just think of the hundreds of lawsuits that we've had to depend on outside groups to, and lawsuits are really how we've won back most of the bad things that Trump has been doing or blocked him. So I think many of us think about it as a way to just put the brakes on the hideous stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
For the next 2 years. I don't think anybody thinks you could get Medicare for all through Donald Trump.
Yeah. And do you think, are you worried at all about the conservative playbook, which I study Fox and OAN and all that academically, and they're just painting you guys as the party of Mundami, the party of AOC. Do you think that'll sting in Maine, or?
I mean, they do that every single time. They do that every single time. We're the party of Pelosi. It's kind of a weak playbook right now, I think, for them because, and again, it depends on candidate by candidate, but you look at how, like, Mondami has played it or even how Plattner played it. Like, bring it on. If you're going to call me, communist or, socialist because I want to make sure you have affordable health care and child care and because I believe fully that, we shouldn't have trillionaires in this country. Or, I mean, it's not an easy message for them right now. I think they're very much stuck and don't have much of a message. And of course they will try that, but it's what they try every time. And I think you've got a much more radical public out there.
Yeah, totally.
And populist. I mean, you look at the kind of stuff that comes out of the mouths of Tucker Carlson or Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, they were opposed to the war in Iran. They don't like what was going on in the war in Israel. I mean, it's harder and harder for the Republican Party to find their own grounding in whatever their quote conservative principles are.
Yeah. I miss conservatism. I'm like, if you guys at least balance the budget, I might give you a pass on some of this shit, but
yeah, but they increase the deficit.
I know.
And Trump is just a reckless
buffoon.
Yeah, buffoon. And now they're so corrupt. I mean, I've had Republicans speak to me, in the House. I mean, I'm friends with plenty of Republicans on appropriations or agriculture. And, I know people get annoyed when you say this, but off the record, they'll say, when you guys are in power, you better investigate the shit out of this family.
I know. It's gross.
They don't like it. I mean, Republicans aren't happy with this right now. I think you're almost like counting the days till we take over.
I know. And I think that's why we're seeing this flood of retirements.
Mm-hmm.
But so you don't think Mandami or AOC on the stump in Maine would are needed?
I mean, it's going to be up to the candidates themselves, but I truly think, I mean, it's never been a big deal in Maine generally to have like outside endorsements and outside people come and work for you. This is a state where people expect you to show up at,
Yeah.
the Lincoln County Lobster Bake, go to the Lobster Festival parade and be in the Moxie parade. You just got to do the stuff where people see you in their hometown. We're a lot of little towns, and yeah, I don't picture those guys necessarily coming to Maine to campaign. Bernie likes to come into Maine, and Roe is building his base. So those guys show up because it's about them.
Yeah. Sounds about right.